Have you ever felt like, no matter how hard you try, you can never fully disconnect from work? You wake up tired, grab a strong coffee, face another day full of tasks, and in the end, it feels like nothing is ever enough. If this sounds familiar, it could be a sign of something more serious: burnout. Nowadays, with the constant pressure for productivity and the need to always be available, many young professionals face this issue without realizing it, until the consequences become severe. Burnout is not just temporary stress. It's a mental, physical, and emotional exhaustion that creeps in gradually, and when not identified in time, it can harm not only your career but also your health and relationships. The problem is that it doesn't appear overnight, and often the signs are ignored or mistaken for regular tiredness. That's where the real danger lies. In this video, we'll talk about how to identify the early signs of burnout before it takes over your life. You'll understand what this syndrome really is, how to differentiate a tough day from a chronic issue, and most importantly, what you can do to prevent it from happening to you. So, stay with me until the end, because this information can make all the difference in your professional and personal journey. Burnout is a term that has become increasingly common, but do you really know what it means? Unlike the everyday stress we all face, burnout is a state of deep exhaustion caused by prolonged exposure to high pressure and demanding situations. It's not just about being tired or overwhelmed for a short period. Burnout slowly drains your energy, affecting your motivation, performance, and, in more severe cases, your physical and mental health. The key difference between stress and burnout lies in the duration and intensity of the symptoms. Stress, on its own, can be temporary and even motivating in certain situations. However, burnout is a continuous cycle of exhaustion, where the feeling of being overwhelmed never goes away, no matter how hard you try to balance your work and personal life. You feel like no matter how much you dedicate yourself, it's never enough, and this feeling can lead to emotional detachment from work and even a loss of professional identity. Several factors can contribute to the development of burnout. The culture of extreme productivity, where being constantly busy is seen as a measure of success, is one of the biggest culprits. Additionally, a lack of control over your own work, unrealistic deadlines, constant pressure for results, and a lack of recognition create the perfect environment for exhaustion to set in. With increasing connectivity and the need to always be online, the line between work and rest has practically disappeared. To better understand the seriousness of the problem, just look at the numbers. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, burnout has been officially recognized as an occupational syndrome, affecting millions of workers worldwide. Young professionals, especially those at the beginning of their careers, are the most vulnerable, as they often face the need to prove their worth by accepting unsustainable workloads. If you feel constantly exhausted and that work has been draining all your energy, it's time to stop and reflect. In the next chapter, we will discuss the early signs that may indicate you're heading toward burnout, and how to recognize these symptoms before they become a bigger problem. Burnout doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in silently, starting with small signs that are often ignored or attributed to normal daily fatigue. However, recognizing these signs early can be the key to avoiding more serious consequences. After all, the sooner you identify that something is wrong, the quicker you can take action to regain your balance. Among the most common early signs is constant fatigue that goes beyond physical tiredness. Even after a good night's sleep, you wake up feeling drained, incapable of facing another workday. This feeling of mental and physical exhaustion persists, affecting your concentration and productivity. Gradually, simple tasks start to feel impossible to complete. Another important sign is demotivation and emotional detachment. You begin to feel disconnected from your work, as if you're merely going through the motions without any real engagement. The sense of accomplishment fades, and over time, you may start questioning whether you're truly on the right path. This detachment can extend to your personal life, leading to social isolation and a lack of interest in activities you once enjoyed. Physically, burnout can manifest in various ways, such as frequent headaches, insomnia, digestive problems, and muscle tension. These symptoms are your body's way of signaling that something is off. Ignoring these signs can lead to more serious health issues, including anxiety and depression. Moreover, behaviors such as procrastination and constant irritability can also indicate that you're on the road to burnout. Tasks that once seemed simple become sources of stress, and a lack of patience with colleagues or family members becomes more evident. The feeling of always being on the edge is a strong indicator that it's time to take action. If you've identified with some of these signs, it's crucial to assess your routine and find ways to ease this overload. In the next chapter, we'll explore the main causes of burnout in the modern workplace and how they might be contributing to this silent exhaustion. The fast-paced nature of the corporate world is pushing more and more people to their limits, and understanding the primary causes of burnout is essential to preventing it. Often, exhaustion doesn't arise solely from the workload itself, but from a combination of factors that slowly drain physical and mental energy over time. Recognizing these triggers can help develop effective strategies to maintain a healthy balance between work and personal life. One of the main causes of burnout is work overload, which occurs when demands exceed your actual capacity to deliver. Long overtime hours, tight deadlines, and an endless to-do list create unsustainable pressure. The relentless pursuit of results often makes professionals feel like they're never doing enough, generating a constant sense of dissatisfaction and exhaustion. Another critical factor is the lack of control and autonomy. When decisions are imposed from the top down, without room for participation, employees feel powerless in the face of demands. This lack of control over their own activities increases frustration and can lead to the feeling of being trapped in a routine that offers no space for growth or innovation. Toxic work environments also play a crucial role in the development of burnout. Constant conflicts, lack of recognition, authoritarian leadership, and a culture of unfair competition create an atmosphere of continuous tension. The feeling of being constantly judged and the absence of adequate support from leaders can result in emotional detachment and discouragement. In addition, the difficulty in establishing boundaries between personal and professional life has become one of the biggest threats to mental health. Remote work, for example, often creates the illusion of flexibility, leading professionals to be available 24/7. This results in a constant sense of obligation, where rest becomes practically non-existent. Moreover, high connectivity exacerbates the problem. The need to respond to emails, messages, and attend virtual meetings at all hours prevents the mind from having essential moments of rest to maintain mental balance. Now that you're familiar with the primary causes of burnout, in the next chapter, we'll discuss practical strategies to prevent it and regain control of your life. Now that we understand the main causes of burnout, the question remains, how can you prevent it before it takes over your life? The good news is that there are effective strategies to avoid this exhaustion and restore balance between work and well-being. Small habit changes can make a big difference, and the first step is recognizing your limits and learning to respect them. Setting healthy boundaries is essential to avoid overload. This means learning to say no to tasks that exceed your capacity, negotiating more realistic deadlines, and establishing work hours that allow time for rest. Creating a clear routine and respecting your limits prevents work from invading your personal life, something fundamental to maintaining a healthy mind. Another important aspect is effective time management. Burnout is often linked to a lack of organization and the feeling of always racing against the clock. Methods like the Pomodoro technique, which alternates periods of focus with short breaks, can boost productivity without compromising your health. Additionally, prioritizing tasks based on urgency and importance helps reduce the feeling of being overwhelmed. Daily self-care is another indispensable strategy. This includes engaging in activities that bring pleasure and relaxation, such as physical exercise, hobbies, and spending leisure time with friends and family. Your body and mind need breaks to recover from constant effort, and neglecting this can accelerate the burnout process. Digital disconnection is also crucial. Setting specific times to check emails and messages, as well as creating offline periods, allows your mind to rest and regain focus. A helpful tip is to avoid electronic devices at least an hour before bedtime, improving sleep quality and, consequently, your readiness for the next day. Finally, having a support network can make all the difference. Talking to friends, colleagues, or even seeking professional guidance can offer new perspectives and help relieve daily pressure. Having someone to share challenges with makes the journey lighter and less lonely. By implementing these strategies, you can avoid burnout and build a more balanced and healthy routine. In the next chapter, we'll discuss a crucial step, recognizing when it's time to seek professional help and how to identify if you've already pushed past your limits. Even with all the preventive strategies, there may come a time when the signs of burnout become so intense that they require a deeper approach. But how do you know if you've already pushed past your limits and need professional help? Identifying this moment is critical to preventing exhaustion from further compromising your physical and mental health. One of the main warning signs is when habit changes, like improving organization or carving out rest periods, are no longer enough to alleviate extreme fatigue and the feeling of being overwhelmed. If you notice that you're constantly exhausted, Even after rest periods, and your productivity and motivation continue to decline, it's time to consider seeking professional support. Another important indicator is the persistence of physical and emotional symptoms such as insomnia, frequent pain, anxiety, and irritability. When these conditions begin to affect your quality of life and personal relationships, seeking professional help becomes essential to reverse the situation before it worsens. Fortunately, there are many professionals equipped to address burnout. Psychologists, therapists, and physicians specializing in occupational health can provide personalized guidance and help you develop effective strategies to regain balance. It's important to remember that seeking help is not a sign of weakness but of emotional intelligence and self-care. Now that we know when to seek help, in the next chapter, we'll wrap up with a summary of the key takeaways and an invitation for you to take practical steps starting today. Burnout is an increasingly present reality in today's work environment, but as we've seen, identifying the early signs can be key to preventing more serious consequences. Throughout this video, we discussed what burnout is, how it differs from common stress, the main warning signs, and the most effective strategies to prevent it. The good news is that you are not alone in this journey. Small changes, such as setting clear boundaries, practicing self-care, and seeking support when needed, can make a significant difference in your quality of life. Remember, your mental health is an investment, not a luxury. If you know someone who might be facing these challenges, share this video with them. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content on productivity and work-life balance. Together, we can create a healthier and more sustainable work environment.